University of Virginia on the campus of Southern Virginia University. So today, USA Top standings semifinal match, semifinal game between number 3 Greensboro College, number 3 Southern Virginia. USA Top Athletic Champions for the 1988 Network Championship are named Matthews, coaches, and trainers. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at student athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. Thank you for your assistance in providing a positive atmosphere.
Here's a small, buddy. Put it on. No, take the shirt off. Oh.
pitch tradition on Southern Virginia University. We will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Lauren Collins. Starting lineup. Starting tonight for the Tide. Our defense for the Tide. Allison Brown. Our defense for the 7. Addison Cole. Our midfield number 10. Sarah Friedlander. At goal, number 14. Haley Pistofsik. Our midfield number 15. Kendall Sam. Our midfield number 18. Sherry Brennan. At goal, number 19. Emily Marcondi. Our defense number 22. Rosie Tag. Our midfield number 23. Amy Robinson. Our defense number 27. Alex Dawson. And then goal number 33. Cheyenne Hanson.
Hey guys, get loud. It's gonna be our buzz.
The Tide are coached by Mark Johnston and assisted by Jake Papiello, Skylar Matisse, Avery Skinner, and Kylie Beckman. And now, starting for your night. Our midfield number 2, Courtney Montez. Defense number 4, Haley Gabb. Our forward number 10, Zoe Warner. Our forward number 14, Ashley Kelsey. At defense number 15, Ashley Hamlin. At midfield number 16, Berlin Peterson. At defense number 20, Haley Rosenbaum. At defense number 21, Tessa Miller. At midfield number 33, Natalie Blazer. Midfield number 40, McKenna Perry.
Good evening and welcome to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University. I am Colby Camp, and tonight I am joined by Cece Bands as the Southern Virginia women's soccer team hosts the Greensboro Pride in the semifinals of the USA South Conference Tournament. Cece, the Knights come into tonight's game looking to earn a rematch with Brevard in Saturday's championship match. But in order to do that, they are going to have to get by this Greensboro team that played them tough in their first meeting here in Buena Vista back on October 15th.
Yeah, that game was definitely a tough game for both of these teams, as the goal that was the winning goal that determined that game wasn't scored until the 75th minute by Courtney Montez of Southern Virginia. So that game was definitely a tester for both of these teams, but Southern Virginia ultimately came out with the win. And I mean, I'm sure that tonight will also be a good game for both of these teams again.
Absolutely a lot on the line here. As we mentioned, the winner of this will go down to Brevard. Brevard already defeated Mary Baldwin earlier today by a score of 4-0. So they'll be watching this match tonight, seeing who will prevail. And Greensboro, you got to think they're to come out with a lot of confidence because they played hard, like you mentioned, here just under a month ago.
Oh, exactly. This is a very exciting game for both of these teams. As like we've been saying, it determines a lot for the rest of this season. But also, it can kind of be the end for both of these teams. You don't want it to be the end. And I mean, there's just so much that can happen, and so much anxiety, so much excitement as we're in the conference tournament. There's so much that can happen.
So we are awaiting the beginning of this match. So we'll run down the starting lineups real quick. In goal for the Pride is Cheyenne Hansen. She's a freshman. Cheyenne was the defender of the week in the USA South Conference. As we get started here, then Alex Dawson, Trinity Robinson, Rosie Tagg, Cameron Marcondes, Shay Brennan, Kendall Cam, Kaylee Petrauskas, Claire Friedlander, Addison Cole, and Allison Mann round out the starting lineup for Greensboro. And then for Southern Virginia, have Beth Manuel in goal, Courtney Montez, Haley Gadd, Zoe Warner, Ashley Kelsey, Ashley Hamblin, DeLynn Peterson, Emily Rosenbaum, Tessa Miller, Natalie Blazer, and McKenna Curry are your starters for Southern Virginia. And Cece, as we go down that list of starters, there's a lot of all-conference performers, that we just mentioned their names, for Greensboro and also for Southern Virginia.
Yeah, multiple players, just like you were saying, from both of these teams have really come out this season and really put forth their best effort. And even we can just see there's multiple teams, first team, second team, honorable mention. We even, from Southern Virginia, we have Dylan Peterson, who was that Rookie of the Year, and also the Player of the Week, Rookie of the Week multiple times. And there's just so many of these players that have really come out.
Absolutely. So, a lot of good players out on the pitch this evening. So Natalie Blazer gets into the area, and tough defense there by Greensboro to prevent Natalie from getting a shot. Looks like that defense came from number 5, Allison Mann.
And defense is something that is going to be shown a lot tonight. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of competitiveness, as we know, but a lot of physicality that will be coming into these games because there's so much on the line that you're really going to be doing everything possible to prevent, for Greensboro at least, Southern Virginia from pushing on that offensive side.
No, you're right, Cece, and we talk a lot about this as we've called several games this season. The offense for the Knights is something that every team has to deal with. We were going over some of the stats here just a few minutes ago as DeLynn Peterson gets away, puts a cross that, once again, Greensboro is up to the task. They're able to clear it off their line for a throw-in for Southern Virginia. Just as we're talking about the offense, and there we go, right, Cece? But anyway, we were talking, on during the conference season, Southern Virginia, they took 232 shots, with 128 of them being on goal. And that 128 shots on goal is just one less than the total number of shots that Greensboro took throughout the conference season.
Yeah, and that just shows what Southern Virginia is willing and ready to do. It also shows just what they're capable of doing. They take every opportunity that they can get. When they see a look at the goal, they're going to take that shot. They're going to take these opportunities because they know that that's something that they can do. And the more that they do that, the higher the percent can kind of go up.
Ashley Kelsey gets the ball deep in the area, takes a shot, which is defended once again by Hansen.
Some great defense coming from the Pride.
So we're not even 4 minutes into this match. CC and Southern Virginia, they've been able to create, 3 good opportunities here early, even though not each of them ended up with a shot, but they've been able to penetrate that Pride defense.
Exactly, and that's something that they're just going to hope throughout the span of this game will open up, will kind of crack a little bit, because that's something that being able to hold your defense strong for an entire game is a hard task. And when a team is able to do it, it shows their strengths for sure.
Southern Virginia back into the Greensboro defensive side of the field. Emily Rosenbaum, she'll give chase. Talking about so many of these players, that are on that all-conference list. It's interesting to note that early in the conference season, Zoe Warner, she came away real quick with a couple Rookie of the Week and Player of the Week awards. And just with how much depth is in the conference at her position, she ended up being a second-team all-conference performer, which, seems crazy with the number of awards that she gave. She was second or tied for second in the conference with goals scored, just 2 behind DeLynn Peterson.
Yeah, that shows. I think that's something that definitely, it doesn't mean that anything against her. It's just it just shows the depth and the skill of their conference. Like you're saying, Colby, that the girls and these players, they're skilled. They can do a lot, and it just shows how much there is going on in the USA South Conference.
DeLynn Peterson with the cross to Zoe Warner. And that's a goal for Southern Virginia. 1-0 here, which is 5 minutes and 34 seconds elapsed in this match. Once again, there's the player of the year, or rookie of the year, DeLynn Peterson. And she found her running mate there, Zoe Warner, the other player we were just talking about. And that was about as clean and perfectly executed goal as you'll see.
No, exactly. The angle that she was at, almost in that corner, not quite, kind of just in that shorter corner area, and Zoe being in that perfect spot in the middle, knowing exactly where she needed to cut forward. That was executed beautifully.
So Greensboro will find themselves in an early 1-0 hole here in Buena Vista, so they're going to have to try and attack and figure out a way to hold this night offense while they find a way to come up with an equalizer here.
Yeah, that's something that's kind of difficult in those first few minutes, just like you're saying, in those first 5 to 7 minutes. Really, when there's a goal that quick, it might kind of set you off a little bit and be, oh, what are we going to do? That was what we expected. How are we going to adapt to this quickly? Whereas for Southern Virginia, that might be a great motivating factor.
And another shot taken. And DeLynn Peterson adds a second goal to the tally just a minute after the first. DeLynn came right down the middle of the field, found herself about 20 yards out, and with the left foot, she drilled it into the back of the net.
That was a great shot. Really just seeing that opportunity, taking it kind of one-on-one, just a great shot by DeLynn Peterson. We can just already see Southern Virginia is just immediately let's get going.
The other night when they played Meredith here, you feel that maybe there was a little sense of frustration as they made it to halftime, still in a 0-0 tie. And here they come out in a matter of just 6 minutes and put 2 up on the board here against Greensboro.
It's very exciting, but it's also it can be frustrating, at least from Greensboro's side, to be like, okay, immediately, 1 minute after the other, those were quick goals. We're obviously off on a little bit. Let's reset. Let's figure out what we're doing.
A tough part about that for Greensboro is going to be that those 2 quick goals is only going to motivate Southern Virginia to feel like, hey, we've already got 2. Let's put a couple more up.
Exactly, and that's something that Southern Virginia has done. They've had multiple games where they've had double digits, where they've scored multiple goals like that. But also, when they get something going, they run with it.
DeLynn Peterson again on the far side. Now Greensboro looking to mount a counterattack. That's Alex Dawson. Knights are able to take possession once again. Tessa Miller. She'll bring the ball all the way across midfield from her position as a defender. Tessa Miller also made all-conference honorable mention. So Greensboro, they had Kendall Cam and Shay Brennan both make first team All-USA South, and Cameron Marcondes and Claire Friedlander both make honorable mention.
I think that's an awesome thing to be able to see. Multiple players that have different positions and different years, different skills, abilities, to be able to make these all-conference teams, to see, okay, this is what they're capable of. We have multiple players that are doing a lot all around.
And even though Cheyenne Hansen, who is the defensive player of the week for the USA South, didn't get any all-conference honors, I did notice that she tied a school record with 7 shutouts on the season.
And that's awesome to be able to do that.
And again, she's just a freshman. And speaking of freshmen, you go over to the list here of Knights that made all conference. It's Greensboro. Looks to find some space, but Natalie Blazer with good defense. So Southern Virginia had 4 players make first team all conference, and 2 of them being freshmen, DeLynn Peterson and McKenna Curry. Then, of course, Haley Gadd and Courtney Montez. Haley Gadd, of course, been that anchor of the Knights defense for 4 years. And then they also had Zoe Warner and Esty Schneider and Ashley Hamblin and Beth Manuel all make the second team. And of those, you have Beth, Ashley, Esty, Zoe, McKenna, and DeLynn that are all freshmen.
And
so the future's looking bright here for Coach Dahl.
Oh, for sure, exactly. And that's what's so exciting is this team is so young, but there's so much that they're able to do right now. It just means, okay, as these next few years go on, they're going to be able to do so much more.
Bit of a dangerous ball there. Played back by the Knight defense, Beth Manuel. She came off her line to clear it. Greensboro, little shot taken from just outside the area. And that is saved by Manuel in goal. First time that we've seen Greensboro able to get deep into the Knights defense. Now a long ball played forward. Zoe Warner gives chase, but once again, Allison Mann is there to turn that away for Greensboro. Natalie Blazer with a great look forward to Ashley Hamblin. Looked like Ashley may have stopped there for just a second. Couldn't quite get to that.
Yeah, a little bit of a hesitation, but even before that, Natalie Blazer showing some great ball handling skills, being able to move her feet around quickly, try to manipulate the ball kind of around that Greensboro defender.
Want to mention as well that Ashley Kelsey assisted on that second goal that was scored by DeLynn Peterson. Ashley Kelsey, there's a player she's also been injured a little bit this season, but she's been in that starting lineup for the last few games, and she has really helped this Knight offense. She's been a great playmaker for them.
Exactly. So many of these players have really stepped up and stepped into their roles and really just learned so much. And we're able to just see what they've learned and how they've grown throughout this season.
McKenna Curry. That'll be played out of bounds by Greensboro for a throw-in for Southern Virginia. Natalie Blazer. Zoe will play it back to Ashley Kelsey. Emily Rosenbaum comes up from her defender position. Courtney Montez takes a shot from about 20 yards out. That'll sail up and over the goal and be a goal kick for Greensboro.
She kind of battled for that one. Montez was kind of just really fighting to get possession of the ball and get that look.
Ball played out by Southern Virginia. Greensboro near midfield. Cameron Marcondes plays it back, and that's Addison Cole. Sends it forward, and Tessa Miller is right there with the defense for Southern Virginia.
You can even just see in these last few moments the determination of the Pride, really just trying to, well, we can also see their patience, really just trying to get an opportunity to get a look on this offensive end. And Southern Virginia, as you can even tell, that they're also trying to just keep their defense up, trying to just keep their feet down and just prevent Greensboro from getting something.
No, you're absolutely right. Greensboro giving up those 2 early goals might be a little pressed to become anxious and not play within themselves. But like you said, they're playing calmly here, trying to come over the shock of those 2 goals, knowing they still have time. They just want to play a solid game from here on out. See what happens.
Exactly, and just like you said, Colby, there is a ton of time. There's the entire second half, and I mean, the remaining barely less than 30 minutes in this first half that, yes, already so much has happened, but there's still a lot more to come.
Good defense by Greensboro. They'll come up the near side looking for a counterattack. Kaylee Petrauskis. Marcondes. Send it to the far side now, looking for space. And it's like Haley Gadd steps up to put an end to the progress. Zoe Warner and Ashley Kelsey team up, and they'll help the Knights begin something on their offensive side. Ashley Hamblin making a run, getting through the Pride defense. And there's a shot taken.
Barely a little too powerful. A great look nonetheless.
DeLynn Peterson with another shot taken. Just got a little under that one.
Got a little excited. Too strong.
Trinity Robinson ensures possession for Greensboro. Lays that to Kendall Cam. Marcondes looking for space in the area, and good defense there by Ashley Hamblin and Tessa Miller. This will be a throw-in for Greensboro.
Some good defense from Southern Virginia. Really just trying to force the ball away from the goal.
Substitution for Southern Virginia. Looks like Tia Murray will come onto the field for Natalie Blazer. McKenna Curry able to clear the ball. And we're seeing now, here's Cece, how since those 2 goals and everything starting to settle down, Greensboro is able to spend a little bit more time on their offensive side of the field.
Yeah, and that's something that I wouldn't be surprised to see if they do it more, especially because, like you said, they're behind those 2 goals. They're going to be doing everything in their power to really just dig themselves out of that hole and just really try and get something going on the offensive end. But what will be tricky is what is Southern Virginia going to do, is they have to be able to keep their defense up. Yes, they have that 2 lead, but like we've been saying, there's so much time, and there's still so much time that they're going to have to hold their defense up.
Hamblin will send it back to Manuel. Greensboro is coached by Mike Johnston. He is in his 4th season at the helm of this Greensboro women's soccer program. And referees are deciding here, and they're going to decide that that is going to be a goal kick. Difficult for us to tell from here, but the referees were looking at each other trying to determine whether that was going to be a corner kick for Greensboro or a goal kick. 25 minutes remain in this first half. And Southern Virginia working on possession. Marcondes takes the ball back. And Trinity Robinson.
Yeah, she was definitely putting up a fight right there, really just trying to get a hold of the ball and take it away from McKenna Curry, just kind of just battling out for that one.
Southern Virginia able to clear the ball. Back across midfield. Greensboro will start again. Good ball to the near side to Petrauskas.
Some great defense from Southern Virginia, really just keeping it out, trying to get a hold of the ball.
Ashley Hamblin back there doing the dirty work for Southern Virginia. Tia Murray in the middle to Kelsey. The Knights now working on space here. And DeLynn Peterson will push that ball. It's a little too far out in front of her, and that'll go over the inline for a goal kick for Greensboro.
Either way, that was still a very exciting play to just be able to see, and you could even feel the energy kind of in that play. All the players rushing on this offensive end of Southern Virginia, but also you could hear the crowd getting excited. So, I mean, it was an exciting moment for SVU, and I mean, the energy and the desire and the push is still there on that offensive end.
No, they had gone a little bit more into the defensive mode, as you would expect with that 2-goal lead. But sometimes the best defense is taking that offensive possession to the other side of the field. And Rob Dahl's club's never one to shy away from an offensive opportunity.
No, of course not. And especially when you have the chance, go for it.
Marcondes weaving her way through the Knight defense. And be a foul whistled on Southern Virginia, so that's going to bring up a free kick for Greensboro. This is on the near side, just outside of the penalty area. So a good opportunity here for Greensboro to come with this set piece as Beth Manuel sets up a 4-player wall in front of her. Alex Dawson to take the kick for Greensboro. She plays that into the area, and the Knight defense is there, able to get the clear. Ball is volleyed around and ends up into the arms of Beth Manuel. Greensboro with a quick take back.
We can just see already there's a ton of physicality and great competitiveness in this game that Greensboro and Southern Virginia, they're going at it right now.
No, like you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, CC, tonight, you know, a season's going to end, and you have, you know, a couple dozen players out here that don't want it to be their last night of the season. Dylan Peterson and Zoe Warner working a little 2-man game there, but a good play by Cheyenne Hansen to come off her line and put an end to that. Haley Gadd with the defense again coming up, and the Knights will take over possession. Both teams playing back and forth right around midfield, looking for an opening.
That's actually where I would even say a lot of the action has been happening in the last 10 or so minutes, a lot in between the 30-yard lines on both ends, because both of these teams, like you said, Colby, they're just battling out for possession of the ball. And yes, there's been some runs on both ends that we've seen, as Southern Virginia really held out on this offensive end for the first while, and they're doing that currently, but it's really just been a battle between both of these teams.
Pass to Zoe Warner off the foot of Delynn Peterson. And that's another Southern Virginia goal. They'll go up 3-0 in the 26th minute here of this first half.
SVU came to this game ready to play, and we can see that just even in the span of this first half, that even these shots, they've been really well executed.
And that right there, you got the 2 freshmen again, which at this point of the season, they're no longer freshmen. They have a full season under their belt. But just the patience, as we sit up here and saw that develop, Delynn Peterson, she took that, she was down that far side a little bit, and then she laid off the perfect pass to Zoe Warner. And Zoe just hammered it into the goal right off the pass.
Exactly. And you can even just see, like in that play a few minutes ago when there was that offsides call, that, yeah, okay, they learn, but you can just see the chemistry between all of these players, especially those two freshmen, that there's so much that they're able to just do together, and they know how to build off of each other.
And so now Greensboro faced with a 3-goal deficit here with 18 and a half minutes left in this first half. And CC, you'd have to think that they're really going to need to try and put something on the board here before halftime.
No, they definitely are. There's kind of just a lot of pressure on them right now, but we can even see in some of these Greensboro players, they're getting a little bit frustrated, which makes sense as they're currently 3 down in these with 18 minutes in this first half left to go. That this is not the way that they want this game to be.
It'll be interesting to see over these next 18 minutes how Coach Johnston maybe changes up the game plan a little bit as Greensboro tries to put a little bit more priority to their offensive game.
And I'm sure that is something that they will most definitely be doing at halftime, is really just trying to think, what are we going to do, and make a new game plan to come back and really try and come in with a win this game. And I'm sure on the other end for Southern Virginia, they're going to be thinking, okay, great job. We've done some really great things, but what are we going to do to keep Greensboro at bay on their offensive end and on our defensive side?
Knights moving once again on the far side. Good run again. Pass across the middle on the ground. Ricochets off the goalkeeper, and that's another goal for Southern Virginia.
The Knights are just ready to keep going and not to stop tonight.
There was quite a bit of traffic there in front of the goal, so difficult to see who that was. And looks like that will be given to Zoe Warner. So how about that, Cece? We are we're just about 29 minutes into this match, and Zoe Warner has a hat trick.
And that's so exciting, especially in a game with high stakes like this, where it's in a conference match in the semifinals, that you're able to perform like that, even under all this pressure, the excitement, the energy. That's so amazing to see from not only a freshman, but from a player that's just ready to play.
And Delynn Peterson, she has a goal of her own and 3 assists. So, these two freshmen, they've come out ready to play. Tough defense once again. Southern Virginia just with that relentless pressure. And a foul will be given here. Greensboro will have a free kick. 35 yards out, straight ahead. Looks like the Knights will make a wall with 4 players. Greensboro sends it towards the goal. And Beth Manuel has to make a diving save. There's a rebound, and that will go out. It'll end up being a corner kick for Greensboro. So another good play by Greensboro.
Yes, it was a great shot, really going at a perfect angle on that low corner of that right side of the goal. And a great save from Beth Manuel, really being able to get there at that perfect time, but not only to block it, but deflect it outwards and really just be in the right spot.
That shot was taken by Rosie Tagg, the free kick. Comes the corner. And the Knight defense is able to clear that. Courtney Montez brings the ball across midfield. Ball forward play to Zoe Warner. She's onside. Back to Montez. Tia Murray forward to Montez. And Greensboro able to come up and play that out. You throw in Addison Cole on the defense.
That's some good defense, being able to adjust and really just get that one out and away from the goal. As that's something that they really need to be able to do, is just clear it out. We haven't seen a lot of huge clearances come from this Greensboro's defense. And that's something that they need to be able to do. As soon as they get the ball just away, that's when they're going to be able to prevent more of Southern Virginia's offensive push.
Greensboro. Ball played forward. Shea Brennan. Lucy Skidmore for the Knights. Looking to push that before Greensboro is able to put a stop to that. Greensboro looking to create an opportunity. Knight defense regains possession. Knights at midfield. Addie Newman into the game for Southern Virginia. She sends a pass forward. And the flag will go up for offsides on Southern Virginia.
Even just in that little offsides play right there, we can just see that Southern Virginia is so ready to just keep going, that they're not ready to get up, give up, or let go, of course, but they're ready to just keep going on this offensive end and just keep pushing.
Subs onto the field for Greensboro. Grace Garrity, Ashley Linker, and Mackenzie Taylor. Also subs, in addition to Addison Newman for Southern Virginia, Rachel Bodkin and Lauren Madsen into this match for Southern Virginia.
And even we can just see with all these substitutions happening that Greensboro is really looking to try and kind of shift that energy, change it up a little bit, and really just get something going. Southern Virginia is doing a really good job of just trying to force some defense and put some pressure on Greensboro's offensive end.
Greensboro will send it back to midfield. Looked like they might be able to create a shot there, but the Knight defense was able to swarm the ball. Courtney Montez comes away from the pack.
Quick turnaround.
Mackenzie Taylor for Greensboro. Tia Murray works with Esty Schneider. Courtney Montez will send it to the far side, looking to open up space. Through ball, looking for Esty Schneider. cleared by Greensboro and then misplayed, and the Knights are going to get their first corner of the evening here with 9.5 minutes left in this first half.
Something that's a little bit surprising, considering that that's happening so late, as Southern Virginia tends to get a lot of corner kicks in every game, as they really just try and, like we know and we've already seen, put a lot of pressure on this offensive end. So it's a little interesting to see that that's only their first corner kick of the night.
It shows that they've been very efficient on offense. So much of that penetration has resulted in a shot. You know, they've been able to get the ball to the middle of the field where shots have been taken.
And that's exactly what you want to be able to do too, is that the more you keep it in the middle and you have those shots that are coming out those middle and just kind of barely on the side versus on those angles that are further away, the difficulty rises the further out you go. Some good defense coming from Greensboro.
Greensboro, you know, they're battling. They got to keep this as close as they can. You know, down by 4, like we said. You got to feel it's so important for them to try and put a goal in here before halftime. Ball will go out for a goal kick. H.D. Snyder will send it back to Bodkin. Greensboro able to intercept. Ball played forward by Greensboro. Ends up with Beth Manuel in goal. She'll reverse the field. We have the Knights starting up the near side. Esty Schneider. Greensboro takes it again, takes it away once again, and looks like a foul. So a free kick for Greensboro. Send it toward the top of the penalty area. Knights are there to clear. And SVU will come up the far side. Lucy Skidmore with the through ball. And again, just a little too far out in front.
Something that SVU has been able to do really well tonight is when they've had those moments where they've had a lot of pressure on them on this defensive end, is they've been able to quickly turn it around. Maybe they don't keep possession for that entire play, but they're able to get it quickly away from that defensive side. And I think that's something that's really going to be benefiting them if they continue to do that. Because the more you get the ball just away from your defensive end and you get it even just going forward, then one, you're keeping your energy up, but also you're keeping just your defense safe.
It's, you know, it sounds obvious, but it's a lot easier to defend your goal when you're 70, 80 yards away from it, when the ball's 70, 80 yards away from it. And the way this Knight team is set up, they're all about maintaining possession, keeping the ball on their offensive half of the field. Greensboro. Space, Petroskas. And think she'd like to have that one back. Unfortunately for her, didn't get the best contact on that. It goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that one looked like it went off her foot a little sideways with some side spin.
4.5 minutes left in this first half. Abby Simister checked in a minute ago for Zoe Warner. Ashty Schneider there. And it's that tenacity that Southern Virginia has on the offensive side of the ball that also serves them so well defensively.
Exactly. The things that can help you on defense, the things that can help you on offense, they, even when they're reversed, tend to benefit a lot. Your speed, your balance, your ball handling skills can benefit you on both sides of the ball.
It's fun to watch so many of these night defenders. They're never unwilling to go after the ball. It's like they understand, hey, if I can take this ball, then I'm on offense.
Exactly. When you have that opportunity, when you see the chance, you see kind of a lane or a path in the field, if you're in control of the ball, you're going to take it.
Substitution for Greensboro. Hillary Grayley comes in for Kaylee Petrauskis. Grayley is the representative on the USA South All Sportsmanship team from Greensboro. That same honor went to Emily Rosenbaum for Southern Virginia. The All Sportsmanship team consists of one member of every school from the conference. Name a player that shows good sportsmanship throughout the season.
And one of the great things is there's so many players on every team, and I mean most of the players on every team could even go on that list, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to see that.
Absolutely. We see it so often up here where, you know, maybe there's a foul called down on the field, but so often players helping each other up, checking on one another. And Tia Murray looking for an opportunity. Well defended there by Greensboro. As much fun as the competition is, and to get to see the players do some excellent, make some excellent plays, it's also great. You know, one of the great things about sports is that sportsmanship that's shown.
Oh, exactly, and that's one of the things that really, it might sound cheesy, but it is one of the things that is just like so wholehearted that you love to see, and that's why we play these sports, is really to learn these things and to just grow.
Throw in for the Knights as they work in their final third offensively. Ball goes out, and that'll be a goal kick for Hanson, as we are now at 1 minute remaining in this first half. Ball deflected there by Greensboro. That works out well for Southern Virginia. Looked like there was a thought to make a cross with that, but in the end decided to let it go out, and that'll be a corner kick. This corner kick will end this first half. Ball in the area, and Cheyenne Hanson once again called on to make a play there right at the goal line.
Nice, we're really excited and hoping for something there.
And that will count us down to halftime here in Buena Vista. And CC, at the end of the day here, we've got, going into halftime, Southern Virginia, they have a 4-0 lead over Greensboro. as far as Southern Virginia is concerned, that first half really couldn't have gone any better. And unfortunately for Greensboro, they really have a hole that they're going to have to try and dig themselves out of here in the second half.
No, for sure. It's definitely a moment where they can reflect and see, okay, there's a lot of room for improvement, and there's a lot that we can see and we can learn that we can really apply, especially in the second half, if we want to win this game.
So we'll go ahead and take the break for halftime. Once again, Southern Virginia leads Greensboro 4-0. We'll go ahead and take this break and hope everybody will join us again for the second half.
like the whole show. Yeah, and he's like sitting on the bus and he's like, laughing and he's like, Chad's side.
Welcome back to Southern Virginia University for the second half of this USA South Conference Tournament semifinal between Southern Virginia and the Greensboro Pride. Southern Virginia scored 4 goals in the first half to take a 4-0 lead into the break. And right away, Delynn Peterson with a shot toward goal. That is blocked by Hansen. Another shot by Ashley Kelsey is blocked again by Cheyenne Hansen. So right out of the gate, Cece, this second half, Southern Virginia comes down and they get 2 shots on goal. Fortunately for Greensboro, Cheyenne Hansen's able to make 2 saves.
Yeah, immediately Southern Virginia comes in with that high energy, immediate push on their offensive end. But yeah, just like you were saying, some great defense coming in from the Greensboro end, just able to quickly deflect those and get them going the opposite outside away from the goal.
Haley Gadd sends it all the way back. Greensboro now with some space. Ball into the middle to Marcondes. And good defense by Southern Virginia. Haley Gadd puts an end to that surge by the Greensboro offense. Abby Lush will start this second half at forward for Greensboro as Coach Johnston looks for an offensive spark as his team will try to make a push to get back into this match.
Yeah, and that's something that Greensboro definitely needs this second half, is to have an offensive push and to really just get something going if they really want to continue their season. There's only so much you can do, especially if you're down by 4. The only way that you can really match up with that is get your own 4 goals.
And that will be a tall task for Greensboro as they come into this match. They scored 14 goals during USA South play. Southern Virginia quickly retakes possession as they come across midfield.
A few collisions happening.
And tough defense there by McKenna Curry. Earns the ball back for Southern Virginia. Throw in for Southern Virginia. Ashley Kelsey making a run, trying to win the ball back, and now she does.
Some great hustle from not only Kelsey, but also the defensive players of Greensboro, just really just tackling each other and going for that one.
That was Rosie Tagg coming up with that much needed defense right there as Ashley Kelsey was about a step away from getting a shot. And ball played forward, looking for Marcondes. Beth Manuel leaves her goal to pick that up.
The Knights really just looking to pass it back and forth, retain possession, but also just kind of just move the ball around.
Marcondes with the attempted through ball, looking for Lush. Well defended once again by the Knights. And Greensboro plays that forward once again. Beth Manuel to Haley Gadd. And now DeLynn Peterson. She'll bring the ball across midfield. Gives it up for Zoe Warner. And Greensboro steps up with good defense to take it away. Looked like Kendall Cam was going to get the ball in a little bit of space, but once again, that Knight defense able to step up and put an end to that run.
Yeah, Southern Virginia has been playing some really great defense thus far, but we can also just see, even in this second half, that Greensboro is really trying and putting forth a lot of effort on this offensive end to get an offensive push. They've had multiple opportunities. They've had some chances where like something is getting close to happen but doesn't quite connect. But they've had their opportunities.
Greensboro will look to create some more of those opportunities. Be a free kick from the far sideline. Ball being volleyed around in the area. It will go over the goal line, and the signal is for a goal kick. During that stoppage, had a substitute. Natalie Blazer went out, and Tia Murray back into the match.
Another one of these long balls that have been put forward. As Greensboro's been trying to do that a couple of times, really to send forth those, put those long balls up there to try and get those foot races, and unfortunately they haven't been able to succeed with those quite yet.
Yeah, each time they've sent it out there, seems like the SVU player wins that foot race. And so when they make an adjustment, they put it out a little bit too far, and neither player from either team is unable to get there.
Yeah, it's really a hard thing to kind of judge and discern how far and how hard you need to put one of those long balls, because you got to trust your player that they can get there, but also you don't want to put it. It's just a little bit harder to figure out exactly how you want to do it.
Ashley Hamblin bringing the ball across midfield for the Knights. Zoe Warner working for a shot. She leaves it for DeLynn Peterson. She gets it. Zoe gets it back, sends a shot. It's a cross, and that is going to be another goal for Southern Virginia. Zoe Warner is going to get the assist. I think it may have been Ashley Hamblin. Actually, it was Ashley Kelsey. No, actually now, just getting the word. It was actually Ashley Hamblin. I was going to say, I didn't think that was Ashley Kelsey. Ashley Kelsey taking a previous shot that was saved. So Ashley Hamblin gets the goal after she'd made that good run, bringing that ball all the way from the backfield across midfield. She continued forward. And Zoe Warner with the great cross, and Ashley just followed it through. And the Knights take a 5-0 lead. Greensboro also did make a substitution at the half. Griffin Horn is in goal now for Greensboro. Griffin is a freshman out of Easley, South Carolina.
attempted shot coming from Greensboro. That one was a little high. But I mean, they had an opportunity as they really moved. They tried to move the ball around as they got a great offensive look in that play.
So Beth Manuel with the restart. And Zoe Warner moving quickly, plays it through. DeLynn Peterson looking to get to it. And DeLynn with the shot on goal as Griffin Horn came out to meet her. And DeLynn had to adjust, and the shot goes just wide to the left. But it didn't miss by much, Cece.
No, that one looked as though if it was maybe a foot or if inches, if anything. It was another great opportunity from Southern Virginia. But yeah, just barely wide. And honestly, Southern Virginia is really just anytime they get a look or they have one of these opportunities, they're running with it.
Yeah, like we said in the first half, they'll never shy away from an opportunity going toward the goal. Emily Rosenbaum now creating. Ashley Kelsey. Middle of the field. Now DeLynn Peterson in the area by the defender. Another cross. And that's going to be another assist for DeLynn Peterson and another goal for Zoe Warner.
Even tonight, I think we've said those two's names, Zoe Warner and DeLynn Peterson, many times, especially as they've worked together tonight and as DeLynn Peterson has been a crucial player in many assists and really just moving the ball around and getting it to where it needs to be, especially tonight, if not this season. But it's been really great to see tonight, especially.
And it makes it so difficult to defend, as we were talking earlier in the game, where DeLynn Peterson, she was the Rookie of the Year in the conference. She made first team all-conference. Zoe Warner, you know, she came out, and for the first several conference games, she was the leading scorer. But then she went out with a little bit of an injury, and DeLynn stepped right in and started scoring goals. So, you know, if you're Coach Johnston over there for Greensboro, let's kind of pick your poison, because you got DeLynn that kind of plays, you know, she plays on the outside more, and Zoe's more in that center of the field as the forward. But DeLynn is so good at making those runs, and she can score from that tough angle. So you have to pick your poison, and that has left Zoe open so often tonight in the middle of the field.
No, exactly. It's really hard to defend, to just know who you need to focus on, where you need to focus on. But it's also just a very dangerous weapon that Southern Virginia has, those two.
So the score is now 6-0 for Southern Virginia. And as we look at those stats, 4 goals on the night for Zoe and 5 assists for DeLynn. So, you know, that's almost maybe even more impressive than the 4 goals. You know, it just shows the type of player that DeLynn is, that she is willing to give up that ball knowing that she's got Zoe right there that's going to, you know, isn't going to miss if she puts it in the right spot.
No, it's astonishing to really see that they're able to do that and that she's able to know where she needs to send the ball and where she needs to be. But it also just shows the amazing mark of a selfless player.
And there was another shot taken, a good run from midfield. That shot taken by Ashley Hamblin. She enjoyed scoring that previous goal so much, she decided she'd step up once again. She made another long run and had a good shot. Here's Courtney Montez.
It is really exciting to see, though, when those players, when they see that they have the opportunity and that they're capable of doing that they're not going to shy away from it now. They know that they can do it, so they see the chance. They're going to think, okay, what can I do? Can I do that again? And honestly, it's really great to see because it just brings in another aspect and another really tool that can be used on the field.
Audrey Edwards has entered the match for Greensboro. Sophomore out of Bowling Green, Virginia. Emily Rosenbaum with the throw in. Ashley Kelsey weaving her way through the middle of the field. And she takes a shot that's deflected by Greensboro. And we could see from here, CC, that left-hand side of the goal was open there. Fortunate for Greensboro that they were able to deflect that shot.
Yeah, especially from our angle, you could totally see, oh, there's a look, there's a curve, there's something that could happen here.
Tessa Miller now taking a run toward midfield. She'll leave it for Hamblin. Greensboro playing tough. Trying to poke that away is Trinity Robinson. And it is played out and will be a throw-in for Southern Virginia. And we are going to have a host of substitutions here. Grace Garrity on for Greensboro. That's just one that ran right over here near us where we could see that. We'll wait as we get word on those remaining substitutions.
It looked as though most of Southern Virginia was switching around. They were getting some new legs in.
I can see that Lauren Madsen is on the field now. And Southern Virginia still on the attack. That is played out and will be a corner kick. Ball played into the area. And that played there by Lucy Skidmore. Or Courtney Montez, rather, with that header.
It was a great look and a great opportunity. It's always exciting to see, especially off of these corner kicks, when these headers are going and it's like, oh, what's it going to do? Because those are incredibly hard to control, but also requires quite a bit of skill to be able to take one of those, but it's also a very courageous play.
That'll be a goal kick for Southern Virginia, and that'll give us an opportunity to go over these substitutions. Looks like a total of 12 substitutions being made. So for Southern Virginia, Esty Schneider is in, Rachel Bodkin, Abby Simister, Lauren Madsen, Asana Grabarczyk, Brinley Julian, and also Chloe Miller in goal for Southern Virginia. And for Greensboro, Mackenzie Taylor, Ashley Linker, Grace Garrity, Alex Dawson, and Hillary Grayley into the match for the Pride. We're now just under 27 minutes, and the Knights lead 6-0.
Some good defense from Greensboro as multiple SVU players are really just trying to either get a shot on goal or get a pass in towards that middle part of the field, and they've been unable to do so.
Knights with possession. That's Brindley Julian. And Greensboro, Audrey Edwards on the defense. And Cece, we talked a little bit earlier about the youth on this Southern Virginia soccer team. So many freshmen, not just starting, but the made all-conference teams of some sort. But the same can be said for Greensboro. As I look down this roster, Greensboro started 10 freshmen or sophomores tonight in this match. So, even though they might be down 6-0 right now, they're gaining a lot of experience here in this match tonight. And, Coach Johnston, he's going to have them, working hard, and they're going to be, just like we said about Southern Virginia, with Coach Stahl being set for a few years, Coach Johnston, a lot to look forward to with his group as well.
Exactly. There's so much that they can learn. And just like you were saying, Colby, a lot of learning experiences. They can gain experiences as they're here. And I mean, that just really opens the door for what they can do as the future goes on, and as they grow together as a team, as they really work together.
Foul whistled. So free kick for Greensboro. This one will be taken by Alex Dawson, one of those freshmen from Greensboro out of Apex, North Carolina. And the Knight defense is able to clear that ball, and it'll come over midfield. Brindley Julian. Well defended by Greensboro. Lauren Madsen. She'll bring the ball up the near sideline for Southern Virginia. Grabarczyk. That is stolen away by Marcondes.
See, now is really the time that Southern Virginia is going to have to lock in on their defense, as they've done so well performing on their offensive end. We can see that Greensboro is really starting to push on getting possession of the ball and get on these offensive plays. And so Southern Virginia is really going to need to make sure that they don't let anything else happen.
And a foul whistled on Southern Virginia. So a free kick is forthcoming. It's going to be taken by Ashley Linker on the near side, but a little dangerous. Opportunity for a set piece for Greensboro. She'll go directly at goal. And Chloe Miller will handle that and send the Knights in the opposite direction on offense. Marcondes takes the ball away. She leaves it for Mackenzie Taylor, and good defense by Rachel Bodkin. Clears that ball away from the middle of the field. And an attempted cross by Greensboro goes wide and will result in a goal kick for Chloe Miller.
It is really fun, though, to be able to see. I know we've mentioned the youth of both of these teams, but also it's really great to see that these players all come in, but the play doesn't necessarily change. That they're still all able to continue have this continuous play and keep the game going in the same speed and energy. And that's what you want to be able to do, is to have these transitions where you can change who is in the game, you can change who's playing, but not have a change in momentum.
No, and this as a player, CC, it's always, when a coach goes to the bench, they always hope that the play doesn't dip when they go to that bench. And some people might say it's a lot of pressure to put on the players, but but that's how you earn your spot and how you earn more playing time. Isn't that right?
No, exactly. If you can go in and you can make an impact immediately on the positive, then that's how you get recognized, and that's really just how you can make like how you can change what's going on.
And you don't always get to choose when that opportunity comes. Sometimes it's due to an injury. Sometimes it's in a game like this where there's some time to get some valuable minutes out there on the field. And as a player, you have to be ready to go out there and show the coach that you're ready to go.
Knight's really fighting to just take possession of the ball and just keep it in their direction. As Greensboro takes that one.
An attempt into the middle by Greensboro is deflected by Southern Virginia. Greensboro will pull it back near midfield, and now it's taken away. And Greensboro will send that out for a throw-in. Throw-in for Southern Virginia. You see Skidmore back onto the pitch, and Mattia Murray heads off. Now Greensboro with some space. Haley Gadd steps up.
Great defense.
And if you're a player in the USA South on offense, I think Haley Gadd is probably the last player in the conference that you want to see standing between you and a shot on goal.
No, exactly. We've said this multiple times, but she has been a player that has really, one, made herself known, but two, provided a lot for Southern Virginia. She's a senior. She's been there for all 4 years. And she's been really doing her best to play great defense, and that's what she does. As we've seen, a lot of these substitutions have happened, but she's one of the players that stayed in, as well as Courtney Montez, as their players. One, they're the captains, but also they're players that they can help guide and lead these other players out there on the field.
The type of player that you just expect to keep everything steady. During the rough times or whatever, that they're going to be there. They're solid. They're both players that can just take the ball and hold it for a minute and get everybody an opportunity to just kind of compose themselves. Something that I'm sure we saw them do it a lot earlier in this season as these freshmen, were introduced to college level soccer. And, there were some growing pains there through that non-conference schedule. And, Haley and Courtney, like you said, both had opportunities to steady the ship, so to speak.
And a lot of the time, that's exactly what you need, because there's a lot of chaos that happens, but you need some of those players that are like, all right, we got this.
There will be a throw-in for Greensboro as they maintain possession here in their final third. And now ball taken and will be brought across midfield by Southern Virginia. Courtney Montez plays into the middle. Lucy Skidmore. And now Desana Grabarczyk with the cross. And that goes off Greensboro, and that's going to be a corner. And Sydney Bastian will make her way onto the pitch here. As the Knights get ready to take this corner into the area. Knights still on possession. Pitch ahead by Bastian, but a good play by Horn to leave her goal line and pick that up before Sydney is able to take that shot.
And that was actually a really wise play coming in from Southern Virginia, being patient, taking that corner, but then taking it out and moving the ball around a little bit before fully putting something in on that offensive end.
Kenzie Taylor for Greensboro sends that forward. It will go wide and out of play. Throw in SVU. As we are now under 15 minutes remaining here in this match. Courtney Montez with the cross. And the dangerous defensive play where Greensboro defender got a foot on that and sent it back toward the goal. It would have been a little wide, but Griffin Horn didn't want to take any chances. So this will be a corner kick for Southern Virginia.
That's one of those dangerous plays where it's that deflection and you're like, oh, where's it going to go? The unfortunate part of facing the goal as a defender, that's not necessarily a position you want to be in, but sometimes you end up being on that side of the goal and facing that, and sometimes that means if it goes off of you, it's going to go in that direction.
Good corner taken. And Greensboro has no choice but to send it back out for another corner. Another well-played corner. Knights looking for a shot, and Greensboro is able to send it back. Marcondes. Sophia Harris now into the match, as is Courtney Pack.
It's exciting to see that, once again, the Knights, anytime that they're getting possession of the ball, they're still looking to get an offensive play. And especially whenever Greensboro is getting the ball, they're immediately looking to push the ball forward, as they really just want to get something going and get that momentum going. But Southern Virginia still has that motivation, and anytime that they're getting possession of the ball, especially on the offensive end, they're really looking to push it.
You know, you look at the stats, and you might look and think that, you know, the Southern Virginia soccer team is a little one-dimensional, you know, with the way, you know, they take those shots on goal. But, you know, if you look at the stats, you know, they only gave up 5 goals during conference, you know, so their defense is plenty stingy. It's just that they prefer to have possession of the ball and keep pushing forward. But when necessary, you know, wherever that defense occurs, they just don't play a lot of defense on their own defensive side of the field. Most of their defense occurs on their offensive side up to midfield.
No, exactly. And we've said that multiple times that like the best place to play defense is when you're 50, 60, 70 yards away from your own goal. And that's how Southern Virginia tends to do it.
They continue to possess the ball, looking for a shot. Sophia Harris looking for Sydney Bastion in the middle. Greensboro is able to clear that pass. It'll be a throw in at midfield for Southern Virginia. Greensboro up the near side. Lush rather.
Greensboro looking to get some action on this offensive end.
Brinley Julian sends to the far side, and that will go out of play and be a throw-in for Greensboro. But there will be, looks like 4 subs coming in for Greensboro. As Coach Johnston looks to give his bench plenty of experience.
And this is a great game that gives you that opportunity to do so. Is you might not be in the exact position you want to be, but you want to give these players the chance that, hey, if these players that are on the bench, they've been watching, they've been seeing things, they've been getting perspective, let's put them in and let's see what they're able to do.
Just having the opportunity to play, you know, in a semifinal contest, you know, at least that's something. You know, go play against this team. You know, get some experience of how it feels in this, you know, at this stage of the conference tournament.
Oh, exactly, like you're saying, Colby. Give them that experience, but also have them feel how it feels. Get that energy, kind of the anxiety. Just have them feel what's going on.
Greensboro. It was Brooke Schall. She had a player making a run, looked promising. Ashley McElwain was the player she was looking for, but defense by SVU turned that away. As we're now under 8 minutes left. The last wave of substitutes that came on for Greensboro included Abby Sansoda, Emma Carroll, Brooke Schall, and Carlisle Dozier. That will go out of play and be a throw in. Greensboro.
This is especially now as we, like you're saying, we're at 6.5 minutes. This is now the time that Greensboro is trying to figure out, okay, let's get something on the board possibly, or just what are we going to do? Because now is kind of that home stretch of this last little bit of time where, like, do we keep going or do we give up? And you don't necessarily want them to do that.
I'm sure Coach Johnson, he's still over there. Keep playing. You know, he's making substitutions, giving different opportunities to players. You know, this may not have gone the way they were hoping, but, you know, there's still something to play for. You know, this group would love nothing better than to put a goal up on the board. Meanwhile, Southern Virginia, the last thing they want to do is give up a goal here. They want the shutout. Any team always likes to finish the shutout when they have the opportunity.
No, exactly. You want to be able to hold that and keep it, and just also prove to yourselves that, hey, we can play this. We can play this great defense. We have a good offense, but also we're able to prevent anything from happening on that defensive end.
2 more subs coming on for Southern Virginia. Misty Schneider and McKenna Curry back on.
Well, we all said this isn't going to work. No, it'll work. Just got to do it.
Some good clearance from Greensboro. And some good defense also coming from SVU as the ball was kind of creeping into that defensive end, doing their very best to just clear it out and just push it forward again.
And that ball being played over on the far sideline ends up being a throw in for Southern Virginia. Courtney Pack. Greensboro turns that attempt away.
Greensboro hoping to send that long ball forward, but Haley Gadd able to intercept that one and step forward.
Courtney Pack with the throw in for SVU. McKinley Simmons also on the field for Southern Virginia. And there's a shot off the left foot. I believe that's McKenna Curry, and that is the 7th goal of the evening for Southern Virginia.
That was a great shot. She had that good opportunity, and she could see she was at a really nice angle also on that left side.
About 25 yards out with that shot. You know, left foot, and she put it in the upper right-hand corner of the goal. It was, in fact, McKenna Curry. Like we said, another one of the freshman first-team all-conference performers for Coach Dahl this season.
It's just amazing to see and really awesome to see from both of these teams, though, the younger players and just all of these players that have been selected and what they continue to do.
And as you were saying that, CC, another goal for Southern Virginia, another long shot. And I believe that is off the foot of Esty Schneider, getting that goal here in this semifinal match.
It just even shows that, yes, there are 2 minutes left. The SVU, they have these chances, they have those opportunities that they're looking to take them, and they're going to take them and do them and use what they can.
That was Esty Schneider as McKenna Curry making a run. And she is turned away. Some good defense again by Allison Mann. Allison Mann is the lone senior that starts for Greensboro. She is a senior out of Burlington, North Carolina. Ball played forward to Sydney Bastian, and Sydney Bastian, she will also find the goal as she's able to avoid the play by the goalkeeper Carlisle Dozier and put that into the net for the 9th goal of the evening for Southern Virginia. We have just about 1 minute left here. Greensboro will kick off here and send the ball toward the SVU goal.
And this has been a good game for both of these teams. As Southern Virginia has really excelled in their offense as well as showing in their defense, preventing Greensboro from getting any goals. But also we can applaud Greensboro for what they've done tonight, especially they have some great defensive plays as they were able to do a lot, and especially on their offensive side, they had a lot of really good runs and really great opportunities.
We're now under 30 seconds. Final throw in here for Greensboro. As the final seconds run off, and that will do it here from Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia, where Southern Virginia has defeated the Greensboro Pride in the semifinals, and with that they will advance to Saturday afternoon's match down in Brevard against the undefeated Tornadoes for the USA South Conference Championship. I want to thank everybody for joining us here again this evening to watch another edition of Knight Broadcasting. We want to thank Greensboro and wish them well as they travel home, and wish them the best as they will now prepare for next year's season. And as always, we want to wish Coach Dahl and his group good luck as they'll travel down to Brevard here on Saturday. CC, we wish them the best.
Yes, we most definitely do. It's going to be a very exciting game.
So it will be a rematch of last year's conference championship. So that will be exciting coming here on Saturday. We want to thank everybody again for joining us. Join us on Saturday for women's volleyball. That broadcast will begin at noon, as well as we also have a rugby match Rugby will take on Mary Washington at 11 a.m. and women's volleyball takes on Methodist at noon. So once again, we want to thank everybody. I'm Colby Kemp with CC Bands, wishing everybody a good evening, and as always, go Knights.